We start tonight with a Fox News alert. Ukraine facing an onslaught of heavy artillery from invading Russian troops as Putin's forces are closing in on the country's two biggest cities. This morning in the city of Kyiv, a government building was rocked by an explosion, decimating the area and reportedly killing at least 6. While in the capital of Kyiv, the city's main communication tower was pummeled by rockets, taking television and radio stations temporarily off the air as Russia looks to destroy Ukrainian infrastructure and its ability to broadcast. This all comes as a 40-mile-long convoy of Russian tanks and artillery accumulates just miles away from the capital, looking to surround the city and lay siege. The people of Kyiv are bracing for the absolute worst as they gather supplies and weapons to hold off the invaders, creating roadblocks in the streets and removing street signs, doing anything they can to slow down Putin's barbaric assault. And they've already fought with honor and courage, holding off several key Russian advances, neutralizing their dominance in the sky with air defense systems, taking down fighter jets and attack helicopters. But now, Russia is increasingly targeting civilians, seeking to make this conflict as grim and as bloody as possible as they attempt to destroy the morale of the Ukrainian people. Secretary of State Tony Blinken called out Russia's atrocities this morning to the UN Human Rights Council. Listen.
Russian strikes are hitting schools, hospitals, residential buildings, civilian buses, cars, even ambulances have been shelled. These are the human rights abuses this council was created to stop.
Ukraine President Zelensky called the attacks on civilians in Kyiv this morning a war crime, while nearly 100 diplomats from across the world walked out of a UN meeting when Russia took the microphone. Also today, America caught Russian spies at the United Nations conducting espionage, and we kicked them out of our country. But while most of the world is standing with Ukraine, Russia still has some friends out there. New reports show that Putin is looking to create an anti-fascist conference. The move would align Russia with Pakistan, China, and Saudi Arabia, among other countries, to create a Legion of Doom. But as world allegiances start to shake out, it looks like things are only going to get worse in Ukraine. In the southeast part of the country, Russia's attempting to create a land bridge from the breakaway region all the way to Crimea. Putin has deployed forces around the port city of Mariupol, an amphibious assault taking place. Now, if Mariupol falls, Russian troops could then ferry supplies into Crimea and then link up with the separatist forces there and continue the assault from the south, directly connecting Russia with Crimea and cutting off Ukrainian supply lines, which would be a deadly development. This is all part of Putin's plan for a three-pronged attack into the eastern half of the country, with troops coming south from Belarus, north from Crimea, and from the east in Kharkiv. They'll look to squeeze in on Kyiv, trying to choke the city, and that is when it gets really ugly. A senior U.S. defense official has confirmed that there is evidence of a thermobaric weapon launcher inside Ukraine, several of them, though they have not actually seen them in use. Thermobaric bombs, also known as vacuum bombs or the father of all bombs, are more devastating than conventional explosives. They burn everybody and everything in its blast radius. While their deployment in battle is not exclusively outlawed by international law, any use of the bombs on civilian areas, like what's being hinted at in Kharkiv, is considered a war crime. This is the type of warfare that Russia is looking to inflict at this stage of the war. This is going to be a long, drawn-out struggle as Putin makes life as miserable as possible for the Ukrainian people. But he's underestimating Ukraine's resistance. These people will not flee or surrender like he'd hoped. So, when Putin's brutality meets Ukrainian courage inside the capital, what should we expect to see?
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.